when you speak that way, the impression you give me is that the government of Nigeria is not doing well.
I said politicians in Africa.
All over the world, anyway. Everywhere in the world. I would like you to challenge me. In fact, what I've said is wrong because these are the counterfacts. Because in Nigeria, when we're losing the debate, we go to the personal. So I would like you to challenge me on issues. Honorable Minister, you say this shouldn't be the case. Then I will come out and tell you this is how it is.
Honorable Minister,
but let me say this. Everybody knew that we didn't perform well in the Olympics. The president spoke out, and expressed his disappointment. The nation expressed its disappointment. We didn't hide the fact we didn't do well. We did not hide the failure of Nigeria in the last Olympics. The president himself came out and spoke. The minister addressed the president in London here to express our disappointment. And we know there are many things that went wrong. And that result is not acceptable to the government and people of Nigeria. It's not deserving of our status as a people, as a nation. And we feel aggrieved that we didn't do well. Having said that, so many things were responsible. And that is why now, at home, the president has called for a total overhaul of the sporting sector in Nigeria. What the president has directed is that we want a national retreat that will bring together all stakeholders from the state level, from the federal level, because all of us take part in managing sports, and the private sector. Let's see, why is it that we invested so much and we didn't get the results? Part of the reality on ground is that for a long while, our management of sports has not been the best. That is the truth. The second is the rest of the world has left us on in terms of facility and training. And that can be ad hoc. And what the president has directed is that we must have targets that go beyond 4 or 5 years. If you have sports in 2016, this is the time to start preparing for it, not to wait until 2015 ending. So this is what the president is changing. Long-term funding, long-term preparation, efficient management, first-class managers of sports, deal with the bureaucracy decisively, look for people on the basis of merit, not sentiment, and then give the professionals the opportunity to run their game. So this is exactly what the president is insisting on. And England didn't do well in Atlanta Olympics in 1996. But now England came third behind the United States and China. So England has just reinvented itself from a failure. We too can reinvent ourselves from our bad performance. We are not hiding it. We are not happy about it. Even the president has spoken out. So we know our people are competitive, we are strong, we are capable, we are confident, but we simply need better organization, better funding, better planning, long-term training, and funding that comes both from government and the private sector. And developing specific sports. We have tried all along to be masters of all trades, and we can't do that. We need to choose specific sports and focus on them that will have competitive advantage and work on them so that when it comes to ABC area, we're sure we'll have something like the Kenyans and the Ethiopians. They have seen long distance running as their area of specialization, and in every Olympic, they win a medal. No matter how bad it is, those two countries, you can be sure they will win a medal from those sports. Nigeria too must have that kind of planning and vision for our sports. So yes, we didn't do well. We have said so to the rest of the world. We have expressed our disappointment that we didn't do well in the London Olympics, but we think, again, it's an opportunity to recharge, plan, and move forward. Failure can be really a tonic for greater things to happen, but let's not discuss it with self-denigration, but with confidence that we can overcome. And that is where we're heading to.
All right. Okay, let's take one more question from you, Tunde, before we go on this short break.
All right. You talk about, which we know that, all the problems, all the challenges cannot go within a short time. Like the poverty, for instance, which there's a fact from National Office of Statistics, over 100 million people living below $1 per day in Nigeria. This is not a foreign agency. Does it not mean that the government of Jonathan, it's the pace at which it hopes to solve the challenges, they are too slow? Maybe the challenges are geographical progression. Government is still moving at arithmetic progression.
Let me also say this. You know, you are bringing this question of statistics for the Southern Quarter.
Absolutely, because with this,
and I said so we can't hide it. But again, let me be very sincere with you. I come from rural Nigeria, very, very rural community where there is no modernity until recent times. And I also know that sometimes you cannot use the dollar to reflect the actual living condition of people in certain areas. For example, as a rural person growing up in the village, we have access to free fruits. You can't buy free fruits in England. If I want to take an apple in England, I have to have the dollar to buy it. But in my village, I can go climb any tree. It may be even a wild one, pluck and eat as much as I want. If I quantify that as to the cost of apple in England, I will need so much money. In the village also, I could go to a place and fetch vegetables free from the wild and eat it. I could go to my neighbor's farm and fetch what I want. I could have my own domestic animals in the village. I don't rent them to do things for me. So a lot of the Nigerian economy is not monetized. And so it's very difficult for national statistics to actually capture, you know, unfortunately we have to use the template that the rest of the world knows. But in terms of the rural, informal economy in Nigeria, a lot of the things we use statistics to capture can't really, truly reflect, you know, the real social life and living standards of people. In urban areas, yes, but in most rural areas, the economy is not monetized, and people don't really. I say this: there's poverty in my village, maybe in terms of access to certain modern things, but in terms of food, in terms of nutrition, if I go to my village today, sometimes the children there will live much better than the children in urban areas, because they are farming communities, they have all the things they need, and they don't judge their income on basis of dollar, but availability of resources and what they eat. But having said this, it is not really very true that government policies are slow. No. But policies of reforms take time for certain results to take place. And unfortunately with Nigeria also, because we're used to military rule, we tend to place every challenge on the president. On the one hand, we say we want a true federation, true federalism. Nigerian politicians talk of free federalism, which means that the resources that go, every unit of that federation has a responsibility also to define its policies and give its people, you know, the kind of living standards commensurate with the resources they take from the center. And if you look at Nigeria today, the 36 states, everyone take their money directly from the federation account. Every local government, 774, they take their money directly from the federation account. The president cannot legislate to any governor the kind of policy, the social services, educational services at the local, at the primary and secondary level. They all rest at those levels, units of governance. What we want in Nigeria at the National Economic Council is to discuss how all these units will be able to deploy their resources to effect in terms of raising the living standards. But at the federal level, the policies which we make are giving results. But like I've said here, those results will take a little while more for them to make the kind of impact in terms of numbers of jobs generated, in terms of opportunities that they are giving out, in terms of the quantum of services and goods that are brought on board with the steady investments. But we are heading there. And also a lot of the critique that we see is also partisan political. We live in a partisan environment. So we take it with equanimity. And, you know, we Nigerians are also very outspoken. And sometimes we discuss our country as if it has the worst problems in the world. I was here in London, and I've seen people come to beg for money for me here. You know, so every society has a certain level of challenges, but we must not look at this as if we are the worst. We are not.
All right.
We are walking in the right direction. In several African countries, we are still ahead of many of them. So I'm not going to look backwards, but looking forward, I think that our country, Nigeria, is headed in the right direction. We have a president that is deliberate, that is focused, that is well educated, and that is planning, running Nigeria in a way that is different from the past. What people want is a military head of state who will come and preach us tomorrow, let there be water everywhere. We used to hear that, and there was no water everywhere. But this man highly educated person deliberately is planning the modernization of Nigeria. Some of the attacks we receive are from people who are waiting on government clientele before, and it is changing with the reforms. So I think what we need, therefore, is to confidently pursue these policies and for citizens to understand that we are working hard at home, we are doing well, and the economy is doing well, as assessed by foreigners and foreign agencies, not by the government of Nigeria. And that with time, we will definitely conquer, and our people will have a better life.
You're still watching Ben Television, and the program is focused on Nigeria. And our guest in the studio today is the Honorable Minister for Information and Communication in Nigeria, Labaran Maku. You've heard him, and he said so much. And also have in the studio the publisher of African Voice, Abiola, and the Europe correspondent of The Guardian in the studio, Tunde Oyedoyin, joining us on the program. Let's go on this very short break. The Honorable Minister said that the President, Mr. President, is heading towards the right direction, leading Nigeria towards the right direction. I will leave this to you to judge. When we return from this short break, is Nigeria actually, through Mr. President, heading towards the right direction? You have the right to call into the studio after this break.
Something you want to invest in, something you like to gain. Profit only in a place you can achieve your goals. Share the treasure of a good nation. Nigeria, my nation, my pride.
Television, now you become 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 television, now you become. Ben Television, bridging the gap.
You're still on to Ben Television, and our guest in the studio today talking about Nigeria. Where are we? Where are we coming from? And where are we going? 2020. Speaking with us and giving us more information about the goings in Nigeria is the Honorable Minister for Information and Communication, Labaran Maku. Let's open the phone line. You're able to call in now, and I'm sure the Honorable Minister is here to do justice to any of your questions. While we are waiting for calls to come in, let me quickly ask this question. Honorable Minister, sir, the diaspora community in Nigeria, diaspora community, wherever, England, America, we are of the opinion that we should have the voting power. We should also be part of the processes to determine who governs Nigeria. What are the states of things as per diaspora having voting power now?
Well, let me say this. One of the things that the president has done in recent years is comprehensive electoral reforms. You will see increasingly, in spite of all the opposition voices, the elections in Nigeria are getting better, much better than before President Goodluck Jonathan came to power. Between 2007 and so many incumbents lost their elections. And every election we've had so far, by elections in the last one in Edo, the one in Kogi, the one in Kebbi, and so on, you find that nobody was going to court because people knew that those elections were free and fair. Even in Edo, for example, at a point, the governor, midway, was accusing INEC of rigging the elections. But when the outcome favored came out, he turned out to accept the results. Then it tells you the anxiety in Nigeria about elections. This idea that we must win at all costs is the major problem. It's not really the election themselves, but the attitude to loss. Maybe because the economy is still narrow, it's not democratized as it were. There are no reforms, so you feel if you're not in government, you can't be part of business. But now that we're leaving the economy in private hands, it will be like England. Whether you're in government or not, you have a chance in the economy. And those reforms eventually will also add to a better atmosphere for liberal democracy. As for elections, diaspora voting, it will be our own joy the day we see Nigerians all over the world voting in the presidential election, particularly the national elections. That is the standard everywhere in the world. The citizens have a right to vote no matter where they are in the world. But we are still a bit far from there. I can't speak for INEC. It's not an independent organization. I'm from the executive arm of government. But observing Professor Jagan now, his major challenge at the moment is how to clean up the internal system, is how to make it possible for us, for example, eventually to introduce electronic voting system where you can just press the button and you are sure your vote has gone to be counted. Is where we can have national ID card for all Nigerians at home and abroad, where you no longer need regular, registration in every election. So these are processes that are taking place, and eventually it will happen, but I'm not sure that we can give it now a definite date.
So obviously we're not looking at 2015. I don't want an answer.
I'm not an INEC, so
okay, we've got people waiting on the line. Hello, hi, you're welcome to Focus on Nigeria. Honorable Minister is live in the studio. Your name and where you're calling from? Hello, are you still there?
Yeah, my name is Taiwo.
Taiwo. Yes, where is Taiwo calling from?
Yes. Dagenham.
Dagenham. Okay, Taiwo, please turn down the volume of your TV set. Turn it down now. Yes, you have the Honorable Minister for you. Go ahead and ask your question. Question straight, Taiwo. Okay, Taiwo.
Yes, I'm just lowering the TV.
Okay.
Lowering the TV.
Okay, Taiwo, go ahead and ask your question now.
Hello, yes. Thank you very much, Honorable Minister.
Thank you, Taiwo.
God bless you.
And you too.
We really love you, and we love President Goodluck Jonathan.
Oh, it's pleasant.
You are doing marvelous work. We know there's a lot of challenges, but we shall overcome.
Amen.
It is well. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Taiwo.
We know you are doing the work. We know that you are doing the work, and we are praying for Nigeria.
Amen.
We shall overcome. Thank you very much.
All right, Taiwo,
Thank you.
thank you for your prayers. Yes, we've got another caller in there. Yes, your name and where you're calling from? We've got another call coming in.
Hello, my name is Vitalis. I'm calling from London.
Your name is, sorry?
Vitalis.
Okay, Vitaly. Okay, from London.
Yeah, I'm calling from London.
Go ahead, Vitaly.
Yeah, first and foremost, I'll just say that the government possibly is doing well in areas like election reforms. The government is doing well by inviting Canadian companies for partnership to ensure that there is proper distribution of electricity. To be quite honest, the government is doing well in certain other areas. However, I am more concerned about four issues I'd like the Honorable Minister to address. First is, what is on our debt issue, foreign debt? What is the total debt, foreign and local, that Nigeria has today? And what is our foreign reserve? And how do we intend to sort out this, considering the fact that there's a request now for a new loan of about $7.something billion. The second question is housing. What is the government doing to increase the supply of houses, since it appears that the lingering problem in the housing sector is the fact that supply is far, far below demand? So how is the government trying in the next 10 years or so putting plans in place to ensure that this gap is bridged? The third issue is on health. Mr. Minister, with due respect, I must tell you that for those of us in the diaspora, even though I don't like saying this, but it appears a huge national embarrassment to us to see that while our health sector is suffering and the infrastructure is going down, we still see that when somebody in the public office has a problem, he comes down here for health care. The point is that why not do something about our house, take care of our household, make sure that we have a health system that we can be proud of, so that we don't keep doing this all the time. It sends strong signals to the rest of the world. Then the fourth issue is in this day and age, I think it's an embarrassment for us to be saying that you have to come from this zone or that zone to be a president of Nigeria.
All right, Taiwo, thank you for I think Ms. Honorable Minister got that. Okay, we've got another call waiting. Hi, you're welcome. Your name and where you're calling from. We've got another call waiting. Yes, your name and where you're calling from.
This is Azu speaking from Heathrow.
Azu speaking from Heathrow. Okay, Azu, go ahead and ask your question.
It's my pleasure to see the Honorable Minister on set today. And I know that we've met before on his previous outing here in London a few months ago. My question is straightforward. When Professor Akuyili was the Minister of Information, she came up with a blueprint about the recreation of the Nigerian image. And I believe that you yourself could still realize that that blueprint never came to life. Rather, didn't even live up to his expectation. I want to find out from you, because this is the second time you're coming down to London and probably other places across the world. What is your personal or your collective blueprint to project the real image of Nigeria or to reproject the image of Nigeria across the world? Because what matters today now is about what is Nigeria all about? What is Nigeria standing for now and in the future? Are we looking towards 2015, Nigeria breaking into pieces? Or are we looking forward to 2015, Nigeria still remaining intact as a federal state, as a complete nation? Because your mission...
I thought you have asked your question.
The image of the country is to project the right image of Nigeria across the world. Are you preaching the right image across the world, or preaching something else for us to believe in?
Okay. Thank you very much. Azu, let's allow the Honorable Minister to answer those questions. Yes,
Thank
Minister.
Thank you, Taiwo and Azu, for your interest and for the very beautiful questions you have asked. And I'm sure you're asking these questions on behalf of many other Nigerians that are watching us across Europe and back home. First of all, Taiwo, yes. You asked questions relating to what...